Hi everyone, I'm Samir Karnik. I'm the product manager on Amazon Comprehend. Thank you for joining us today. Today we're going to talk about how you can use machine learning to understand your customers' feedback. I'm going to start off with a little overview on Amazon Comprehend. I'm going to follow that up with a few use cases that we're seeing our customers use Amazon Comprehend for. And then I'm going to invite Abhi Bhatt, who's the Global Director for Data and Analytics at McDonald's, to talk about how they're using Amazon Comprehend and machine learning to understand what customers are saying about Comprehend. Amazon Comprehend is a fully managed, continuously trained natural language processing service. Fully managed means you don't have to worry about throughput or latency or model accuracy or which models should I use for my use case. We take all of that undifferentiated heavy lifting away from you so that you can focus on your application and your higher level thinking of how to solve your use case. Out of the box, Amazon Comprehend comes with a few pre-trained entities, like the ones you see on the screen here. On the top is entities. Entities lets you pull out things like people, places, organizations, brand names from free-form text documents. Sentiment is very pertinent to our conversation today. Given a text document, sentiment can tell you if it's positive, negative, neutral, or mixed in sentiment. On the right, if you look at PII, this is a very important topic for a lot of our customers these days. PII lets you detect, redact, and mask personally identifiable information from text documents. Key phrases, as the name says, pulls out the important phrases in any text. And then similarly, so syntax is parts of speech. You can use that in your application. It pulls out adjectives, adverbs, nouns, and you can use that to build various applications on top. Language ID has support for 100 plus languages. It identifies what's the dominant language in your document. Document classification is very popular. We'll talk a bit about that. It allows you to categorize your documents by labels that you define. And then topics is our unsupervised clustering algorithm. So given a set of documents, it'll find the topics that relate to those documents. So like I said, right, the document classification, custom NER, these are Comprehend's AutoML capabilities. Sometimes your use cases are just not solved by our pre-trained APIs. You might be looking to pull out information that's very specific to your domain or your organization. That's exactly when you would build a custom model. So for example, if you're looking at insurance quotes and forms and you want to pull named insured, expiry of insurance policy, or coverage levels from a document, you could build a custom NER model to pull out exactly that information. Similarly, if you're dealing with legal contracts, you might want to pull out a specific clause from every legal contract that's flowing through your workflow. You could do that again with a custom model. And then for customer emails or tickets or chat, you could build a custom classifier to understand what the incoming emails are related to, and then you could take automated actions or route it properly. What we've done with Custom Comprehend is we've tried to make it as easy as possible to train or to annotate your data before you have to train it. Right? We've taken away the burdensome task and we've minimized the effort required as much as we can. Now, together with our pre-trained models and our custom models, you can build some really cool applications on top of Amazon Comprehend. And we've made sure that the security requirements that our customers have asked us for are all available to you. Right? So you could use customer KMS keys, VPC, virtual private link, and a few others. And we also have certifications for PCI, HIPAA, FIPS compliance, FedRAMP. So when you use Comprehend, you can be sure that you can feel confident that your data is secure. So the last thing I'll cover here is a few use cases that we are seeing from our customers that might get your creative juices flowing for you as well. So the first one here is automation of email workflows. What we've seen is our customers are looking at email subjects and email bodies and pulling out specific entities that are mentioned there, or they're using that to classify emails, right? So for example, you might have a generic inbox called info@company.com. As emails come in, you can understand which inbox that needs to go to, or if you need to take some automated actions. The second use case here is customer support ticket routing. This is getting very popular right now. So, if you're using Comprehend and you build a custom classifier, you no longer have to depend on your customer service rep or your customer to put the ticket in the right queue, right? God forbid an important ticket gets stuck in an abandoned queue, it just leads to bad outcomes. With Comprehend, what you can do is you can use the text written in the ticket to understand what the issue is about so that it gets routed to the right person. You could even take automated actions such as if it's a security related issue, increase the severity and send it immediately to the on-call, for example. The next one is documents and media tagging. So you might have a lot of internal documents and you might have new documents generated all the time. What you could do using Amazon Comprehend is extract certain tags and information and assign them to those documents. Right? You could use this for search metadata enhancement so that your search applications can be powered by more than the information in the file name or the file content. And you can actually create categories that relate to specific documents, use it for filtering. There's a whole lot of stuff you could do there. Intelligent document processing, we are seeing customers, for example, think of a scanned mortgage document, right? You need to do a few actions for it to be processed. And currently, we depend on people looking through these documents and trying to understand every information that's presented there. With automated document processing, you could use TextTrack to convert the image PDF into text. You could use Comprehend to pull out exactly the information that you need. You could even use A2I at the end so that you can have a human in the loop to validate or verify results or take further action there. Customer sentiment analysis, McDonald's is doing this. We're going to talk about that a little bit. You could look at customer feedback from chats, emails, social media posts, customer surveys, and assess the sentiment and relate it to specific product launches or specific initiatives that you're driving in your organization, and understand how the sentiment is evolving over time. The next one is contact center call analytics. This is becoming very popular as well. When you're getting a call into your call center, what you could do is you could understand the sentiment of your customer at the beginning of the call, and you can assess the sentiment at the end to see if you're resolving issues. You can make sure that the right person is answering the call depending on the topic of conversation. You could even assess if you're getting a lot of customer contact about some new topic that you haven't seen yet to assess some new issues that have popped up. And all of this can be done in real time, so it's pretty powerful. The last one is PII, hugely important. PII lets you detect, redact, and mask personally identifiable information from your documents. We've built this to be pretty robust across multiple data sources. It does really well with call transcripts. It does really well with chats, even log data, which is sometimes difficult for humans to even parse through and pull out the PII from there. Because it's based on NLP, right, it can do a few very cool things. Like if your call transcript has a bunch of filler words, for example, someone says, my SSN is 1, 2, 3, Comprehend is still able to capture that entire span and identify that as SSN. So those are all the big applications that we're seeing in the market right now. At this point, I'd like to invite Abhi to talk about how McDonald's is using Amazon Comprehend and machine learning.
Hello, everyone. I am Abhi Bhatt, Global Director of Data and Analytics at McDonald's. I lead the architecture and the platform team at McDonald's. Over the last 3 years, we at McDonald's have made significant improvements in our data and analytics workspace, where we have moved all of our workloads to the AWS cloud, built more transient and reliable data processing pipelines, and continue to enhance our capabilities. One of our key capabilities is the text analytics solution. And today, I'm excited to talk about our text analytics journey with you all. Let's start with the objective. Our objective was simple. We wanted to better understand what our customers were telling us through internal surveys and through social media. We wanted to take the customer feedback and make it more actionable, either to improve or continue to do the good things that we are already doing. As you can see from a data perspective, we have millions of records in internal surveys and social media comments. And year over year, this data has continued to grow for us. So the goals were clear for us. We had the data. Now let's talk a little bit more about the challenges and our guiding principles for designing the text analytics solution. Yes, we had the data, but the data was unstructured and semi-structured in various different internal systems as well as from social media. So the first thing we had to think about is how do we bring all of this data together? And that was our first challenge. Second, as you know, social media comments are free from text and can be hard to and are hard to process, and even more complex to do sentiment analysis. Let's take an example of this complex comment. I went to the McDonald's in Chicago today. I ordered a burger. It was good. The fries were cold. As you can see, this comment has mixed sentiments. The burger being good is good, or a positive sentiment. The fries were cold is a negative sentiment. Lastly, our solution was meant for a global scale, and we needed to support multiple languages and also account for different product variances that we have within our markets. So why AWS Comprehend? We looked at other out-of-box solutions in the market, and based upon our needs, Comprehend was a good fit as it was available as a managed service where the models are continuously enhanced by AWS. Comprehend out of the box supports multiple European and Asian languages, which was essentially needed for McDonald's global scale. Comprehend also integrates really well within our global data platform. As I mentioned before, all of our data analytics workloads run in AWS. Hence, the integration between sending the data to Comprehend and other services was very seamless. Lastly, Comprehend also allows to supplement its output with in-house models, which is really key for us. As we go through this sentiment analysis examples, you'll see there are some domain-specific things that we had to do to get the true sentiment output. So based upon all of what we are looking at, Comprehend was the right choice to start our text analytics journey. Let's continue to build upon this example that we started of a complex comment, and see what we get from Comprehend out of the box. The comment we started was, I went to the McDonald's today. I ordered a burger. It was good, and the fries were cold. Comprehend out of the box provides four key KPIs for this: to detect entities, key phrases, detect the sentiment, as well as detect the dominant language. As you can see from this, the named entities come out to be McDonald's as an organization, Chicago as the location, today as the date, with the key phrases being McDonald's, Chicago, today, burgers, and fries. The overall sentiment shows out to be positive, and the dominant language is English. However, as you can see, the overall sentiment should be a mixed sentiment, as the burger being good is a positive, whereas the fries being cold is a negative sentiment. So we do have some more work here to do to get to the true or the net sentiment score or the analysis output. Let's look at our architecture to see how we address this challenge. As you can see from this architecture view from left to right, we are bringing in data from multiple different sources, such as social media and our internal CSAT service system, using an ETL process, extracting the data and loading the data into an S3 bucket. Once the data is available in our S3 bucket, we take two additional processing steps called Coreferencing and subcomment breakdown before we send the data or the comments to Comprehend. Comprehend does when the data is sent to Comprehend does two things for us. It will do topic assignments and it will do a net sentiment analysis. We then take the output of the sentiment analysis from Comprehend and send it to our in-house models for enhancing the accuracy of the model before the data then gets loaded to Amazon Redshift. And then it has operational reports coming out of it so that the end users can process the derived insights. Let's continue to talk a little bit more about the two additional processing steps that we talked about, the co-referencing and the subcomment breakdown. Again, building on the examples from before, I went to the McDonald's in Chicago today. I ordered a burger. It was good. The fries were cold. When this comment is passed through the co-referencing step, the co-referencing step is going to determine the expressions in the text that refer to the same person or the thing. So you can see the output of co-referencing is going to look like, I went to the McDonald's in Chicago today. I ordered a burger. Instead of it will be the burger was good. The fries were cold. The output of then co-referencing step then goes to the subcomment breakdown. The subcomment breakdown processing really takes this big comment and breaks it down into multiple subcomments, as the name suggests, the subcomment breakdown. So essentially then you'll see the output of the subcomment breakdown is 4 subcomments. They being, I went to the McDonald's in Chicago today, ordered a burger was good, the fries were cold. Now we have these 4 subcomments which will then be sent to Comprehend to do sentiment analysis and topic assignments. And as you can see, when these 4 subcomments are sent to the sentiment analysis for Comprehend, you get 4, in the output you'll see, I went to the McDonald's in Chicago today as a neutral sentiment. I ordered a burger as also a neutral sentiment. Burger was good is positive. Fries were cold is negative. The fries being cold is very domain specific, or what we do in quick service restaurant industry. Hence, we need to supplement this with our in-house models, which are like state-of-the-art models that will take this sentiment and then further enhance the accuracy of these sentiments. And the final output you will see, the fries being cold is marked as negative sentiment. Here's the visualization output from our text analytics solution. As you can see, we are looking at things like customer satisfaction, the friendliness of the staff, cleanliness of the restaurant, and then we look at from an overall comments, what percentage were positive, what percentage were negative. And this is the kind of the analysis or the output that the end consumers or the end business partners are looking at, and then determining what the next best action is. We are also looking at things like, what are the top menu items that the customers are talking about? Is it fries? Is it cheeseburgers? Is it Big Mac? And overall, what is the general sentiment for folks for our products? So this is a great way of visualizing the outputs and the sentiment scores from social media and our internal survey comments. So we have 3 use cases that we have enabled through our text analytics solution. The first one is on promotional insights. Using the feedback from our internal surveys and social media, we understand what our customers are talking about are limited time offers. And so for example, if a new product is launched, we want to know what our customers are saying about that product. How is it performing? Is it better? Which region is it doing better? Which one is it not? And that helps us do the promotions for these different items. We got some interesting insights for customer satisfaction score for speed and accuracy of drive-through orders, where we have identified that they are impacted by special orders and incorrect sauces. So we've identified an issue, and now we have an opportunity to go deeper and see how we can rectify that. Lastly, during COVID, our text analytics solution has helped us do more deep listening of our customers and helps us continuously learn about their experience at McDonald's, either the customer experience in the drive-through or our usage of PPE by the crew members. It has become a great tool for us to listen to the voice of our customer. So where do we go next? We have come a long way in our customer analytics or the text analytics journey, but there's more work to do. We want to expand to other markets. We want to include support for other languages, as McDonald's operates in many different countries where many different languages are spoken. We would also like to look at how we can expand text analytics solution to our internal functions, such as supply chain or restaurant operations. And finally, we want to continue to leverage the insights we get from limited time offers or promotional activities and keep hearing the voice of the customer for these new products. Yes, there is more to do and more to come, but we are confident on being on the right path with AWS Comprehend as our technology solution. With that, I'd like to hand it back to Samir. Thank you.
Thank you, Abhi. That was awesome. So let me talk about how you can get started with Amazon Comprehend. Our website is aws.amazon.com/comprehend/resources will take you to our resources page where you'll find some quick, informative videos to get you started. You'll also find a lot of very interesting blogs there. For example, if you want to add an active learning loop to your custom models, or if you want to build a pipeline connecting a bunch of AWS services, we have reference architectures and happy to help you get started with Comprehend. I hope you guys had as much fun listening to this as we did presenting it to you. And I look forward to seeing how you'll use Amazon Comprehend to better understand what your customers are asking for. Thank you.